Welcome to the Decompression Chamber podcast. This week, my guest is comedian and musician Kris Fried. Kris, how you doing?
Ooh, I've never had a musician officially as my intro, so thanks. That was good.
Well, that's the great thing about your comedy
I'm doing
albums is
well.
they're heavily musical, so definitely want to get that credit in there as well.
I got to get back into that more so too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to do more music shows, I guess, coming up,
How many instruments do you play? Because definitely guitar, piano.
and a little harmonica, but
All right.
nothing crazy. But I list that there.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I'd say piano first, then guitar, and then just other random things,
No,
whatever
that's
comes
great.
up.
Yeah, I
I'm no
piano.
Prince. I'm no Prince with all the instruments, but
Well,
I can do very minimal on in everything.
hey, the jack of all trades.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that. You can specialize, at a later time,
Yeah.
should you choose. All right, awesome. Well, generally I interview a veteran, but every once in a while I will have a civilian come on the podcast because they have some really interesting experience and perspectives, and Kris definitely falls into that category. So your dad was in the Air Force uh, and
Mhm.
in Vietnam. What was that
Oh
like?
yeah. Yeah. So he went to the Citadel,
Hmm.
yeah, which military college in I guess South Carolina, right?
Yes.
And he was all number one in his class and all that stuff, and eventually went Air Force, and I think he graduated in '61.
Oh, okay.
So then, a few years later, he, I guess the whole Vietnam thing was still
Yep.
popping off, and he went over there. I think he flew 35 combat missions
Wow.
where, and I don't know the specifics of all the locations, and I'm not good at that kind of war geography, but
Right.
yeah, I mean, he had to fly in, drop, drop people off, at flying out of the planes, and then kind of. But he
Wow.
was based in various different locations, I know, in Vietnam. But I only know this because recently he was applying for more, like, whatever the benefits they I guess they announced other
Yeah.
eligibilities for different benefit stuff,
Yeah.
and it was a weird, strange battle because he just kind of applied
Hmm.
for the stuff, thinking it would be like, oh, of course, here's my history, here's my where I flew. He had all those
Of course.
logs and everything,
Yeah.
and it took forever, and they kept getting back and forth saying like, you don't have proof of boots on the ground and all this stuff. And he found this old, like, he took somehow or another, he had like film of him there,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so we put this on, had to transfer to, it was like a to VHS, then to something else.
Oh my
And
God.
so we had to send all this stuff in, and I was helping him with that. And he eventually got credited for, he had some back injury when he was there and all this stuff that,
Right.
um, you know. But anyway, so yeah, I do know he was boots on the ground officially
Wow.
in many locations there. So,
Now,
but
what was more difficult, his wartime experience or trying to get eligibility from the VA? I mean, because
um,
the VA sounds terrible. I've never heard of anyone
possibly.
having to provide videographic evidence, but
Yeah, it was. We kind of said that we feel bad for anyone who, you know, might have been over there because he was a captain and all this stuff. So anyone who was just there that, you
yeah.
didn't have a video camera, you're just kind of like whatever, and you come back and you spend 30 years just working and whatever. You don't
Holy
have
crap.
evidence. You don't have evidence of all that stuff.
Oh, of course
So
not. Yeah.
so we, for normal anybody who's applying for this, what do you have to do to get the full, So,
Yeah.
but anyway, he eventually did well.
Good, good. I'm glad that he was able to get it and, still had
Yeah.
uh, video evidence from it and beat the VA. Holy cow.
Mhm. Yeah, but
So,
I mean, I don't, as far as, I mean, he has a lot of stories there that, you always get the feeling that he doesn't want to say the full thing,
yeah.
or, whatever. But no, I mean, nothing where he himself was like, I mean, obviously you're getting shot at here and there, like in the air
Sure.
and stuff, but nothing too crazy where it was, something he repeats all the time of some
Yeah.
type of specific trauma or anything. But so, yeah, I mean, he wasn't like Forrest Gump, in the,
Yeah.
with his gun over his head in the swamps and everything. I mean,
Yeah.
again, I'm not the best historian on all of that, but yeah, he was more so just kind of fly into different bases and stuff
Right.
like that. So,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
still a crazy experience,
Mm-hmm.
and something that most civilians at
Yeah.
that point, in that point in time, they have no frame of reference for. So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
And, just the general population should have a respect either way in any
sure.
element of service. So
Yeah, yeah. Now, did he stay in through the Vietnam War, or what year did he get out?
I forget exactly. I mean, I know it was before because, he wasn't the biggest fan of the politics being involved.
Sure.
I guess, I always hear him talk about he didn't like that the politicians were making decisions based on things they weren't even seeing or knowing the experience of what it was like. They want you to
Yeah.
do something and he's going, we totally should not do that. But,
Yeah, it just seems
so
blatantly
yeah,
obvious. Yeah.
yeah. So he got out. I guess I don't know how it works, but when he wanted to
Yeah,
a
for
certain degree.
officers, I think they can resign their commission. They don't do
Oh,
like have
okay.
a set enlistment like the
Hmm.
enlisted folks do.
Yeah.
But
So, and then he had to decide if he wanted to, you know, do anything more military wise or just kind of. So he eventually just went and became a commercial airline pilot for Eastern
oh, okay.
Airlines. Um, so, and that's because he had a family too at the time,
Hmm.
and then eventually a second wife, which is my mom.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, so he kind of left that first part of his life. I am assuming going to Vietnam, and that was a stress on the
Oh.
family, and they had 2 kids and everything. So,
Oh wow.
so yeah, upon returning, maybe not the best scenario, and then he decided to go commercial,
Hmm.
and eventually got with the flight attendant who was my mother. So
Wow. Okay.
yeah, so I'm a mile high baby.
No kidding. Oh wow.
Possibly, I don't know. My brother was first, so
Oh,
uh,
okay. It's higher likelihood with him, but
mhm,
certainly a possibility for you. Okay.
yeah.
Oh, that's very cool. And so for it so it's you and your brother, you're of course born late late
Yeah,
84.
I was 84. Yeah, Tim was 82. So by then that was, well after all this. They
Sure.
kind of he opened well, not opened. They for some reason decided to buy a bowling alley. So
Okay.
they owned some apartments. They were doing wallpapering and stuff, and then
Interesting.
bought a bowling alley and decided to do that. And that was successful with a bar, and then they built a restaurant called Fat Boys Barbecue, which I guess was big in the
Oh,
South.
okay.
Um, it was a chain then, and then retired. So
Amazing.
yeah, and always been a big, you know, charitable, military guy the whole time. Always doing, I mean, at like the businesses and stuff. That was always his number one.
Hmm.
Any type of charity things they do all around. There's
Oh,
always
that's great.
everything military. So that's kind of how I grew up.
Oh,
It's just
yeah.
respecting with an admitted ignorance of not
Yeah.
really knowing that struggle. But
Right, right. Now, obviously growing up, your dad was in the military. He still,
mhm.
reveres and supports the military and veteran community. But did he have any view one way or the other if you and your older brother should join, or did he have any input on that?
I mean, yeah, you're always pushing, of
Yeah.
course. Uh, but also with just how goofy we were, it kind of, and because my mom's the nicest person on the planet and would never let it get too strict or,
Hmm.
um, which I think was the difference between his first family life and ours.
Yeah.
Is just because my mom, I think, kept him sort of just funny and loose and not as strict probably as a parent. And also because the first family, there were 2 girls, so you kind of more strict, I think, for them as well. But
probably, yeah.
As a military father and whatever. But yeah, when we were, maybe middle school age or so, we took a trip to the Citadel, and he was showing us that whole area, and we always kind of hint at just go there for like business administration or something, and just get a very good education and
oh, for sure,
discipline and all that. And at the time, I kind of kept it in my head, like, well, it's a good idea. I could do that. But then, you grow up, and I was more into entertainment stuff. And so obviously, the more I pushed for that, the more they try to encourage, or at least my mom encouraged, taking risks and following your dreams and all that. So it eventually, also, I think just because I had decent internships in college, kind of led to the entertainment legitimacy, and so I got away from anything that that would have required such discipline.
that makes sense. Now, when looking at school, whatever else, like a lot of times people are getting to high school graduation, and it's like, okay, well, I could go to college, or I could join the military. But did you still have anything in your mind that you might join the military after college, or was Dad already disappointed because he had to foot the bill for college? What were you studying?
Well, in undergrad was TV film. Okay. So obviously that's just in his mind like kind of bullshit, and you just do whatever you got to do. But there was always, he would always push for things like the FBI, which became a quest of mine for a bit. Just because, it would always be like, well, when you're not doing anything, you can always, go be a cop. He's always pushing for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, because there's all these programs you can do, I remember there was like a summer program where if you take it and then later on you decide to be a cop, then they give you all these benefits that you won't have to do what other, they put you ahead of the.
Sure.
So he's always pushing for like, just do this so you have it on your resume, and
of course,
which is a great idea, but I was stubborn and found other things to do during summers, and I would just live in New York in my off, in summers, like during college, just to be around stand up and meet people or whatever.
Absolutely.
So, but then once I got a master's degree in psychology, and I was kind of I was coming back from LA. This was when I was, I guess, 30. I had a master's in psych. So he was, of course, pushing for things like the FBI. Sure. And saying like, hey, it's on your resume. It doesn't matter what your experience is. And it's from Harvard. So
impressive.
Looks okay on the resume.
I would say.
So that helped. And he had a friend that, we had a lot of friends that sort of put in recommendations, and it was, I had a state senator, one of them. I think it was Toomey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Senator Toomey, even though they disagree on a lot of things, he was one of them. And then there was a 3-star general Carmen Caveza was his name. Okay. I don't know if you could look up that gentleman. He was with my dad in Vietnam stuff, and wow. I think he was a roommate at the Citadel too, or something. But
small world.
Became a 3-star general, and so he was a good reference, and some other people that kind of steered me into the application process. And I had to go and talk to some agents, and then you get to phase 2, and there's a written written thing. You go in there and they give you a scenario and you have to, you know, write what you would do and all that. And then this whole time, and it kind of takes forever. The whole process back and forth with different waiting periods. It ended up being like 1.5 to 2 years where you never know when you have to take the fit test. So been training for the fit test the whole time.
Oh, interesting. That's smart.
Cool. And it just kind of is good for me. It made me feel good, like I was doing, you know, preparing for something. But then the last part of phase 2 is the panel interview. So you go in. I had to go to the Philly office, I think, and there's 3 special agents. Oh yeah, this is by the way, this is the special agent training program. Yeah. So, but so you're talking to these 3 like special agents, and they tell you that it's just going to be, they're going to give you, I think it was either 11 or 13. They say questions, but really it's a whole. Each one is like a little essay that you have to do. It's a scenario where they say, tell us about a time when this happened, you know.
Right. It's like a job interview on steroids.
Have you ever been in a situation where blank? And then you're supposed to say what the situation was, what you did, and what the outcome was because of you, and, you know. Sure. So it kind of seems easy-ish to in my brain, because I'm used to sort of telling stories or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I just have to tell stories. And,
you are a public speaker by choice, you know.
So I just, you know, I knew some of the, you know, I looked up online like some of the exact words they'll use, and, you know, so I thought of all the little stories in my life that I thought could be like somewhat serious, and not, because most of the people obviously are coming from military or police or so I'm thinking like, how do I equate my business / comedy world to these scenarios? Like one of the questions is like, tell us about a time when you felt your life was threatened, and, you know, all this kind of stuff. So it became a little bit like, if there were 5 questions, I think it might have gone a little bit better. But since there's like 11 or 13, it did like, I could tell they were kind of thinking like, okay, this guy's bullshitting a little bit here. He's like, you know, and they don't know anything about you. They don't even get to look at your resume before the thing. So you have to find ways of slipping in the stuff you want. So like I knew I wanted to mention Harvard, so I would have to be like, well, when I was studying for my master's at Harvard, you know, you have to slip it in there. And just my demeanor, I think, comes off more playful and like. So if I think of like using the word Harvard as like kind of like a name drop, I can't help it. Like my mannerisms will be like, at Harvard.
So then, you're on the transatlantic accent.
So they're probably like, why is this guy fucking joking around here at the, you know? So, and there were so many times when I got like a little too conversational, and I like ask them a question, you know, I'm like, you know, I'll be like, oh, I was at a show one time at, you know, whatever. And I'll be like, did you ever go? Did you ever? Oh, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I can't ask them shit. Because they don't respond. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. It's just me talking. Moving on. I just know they probably thought I wasn't the personality type they're used to. But it kind of sucks just because it's like, well, I have a, you know, a general and a senator and all these people telling you that I'm worth something here. You know, it might not be what you're used to, but so anyway, so I didn't get past to the next, like, to go to Quantico, but was what it was. It was a good experience.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Especially dealing with all those, you know, stuffed suits. Just you describing that, where it's like, oh, all, you know, everything that has happened to me that's resulted in the personality I have is not what I should be displaying right now, and I have to do the talking and be serious. And
and it started off pretty, like, I knew I was you know, I consciously decided that going into it, but after a few questions, you start to loosen up a little bit.
Sure.
And I'm thinking that, like, oh, they like me because I saw them smile on this last joke. Well, not
Yeah,
joke,
yeah.
but whatever.
Yeah.
And so then I got a little loose, thinking I can show some personality, and then eventually it
Thinking you
just
could do
felt
some
like,
crowd work.
yeah. So then it just eventually felt like they're wondering how, like, why on earth is my resume leading to this?
Yeah.
But
Oh,
anyway,
man.
um, did you ever have FBI-ish or other agency uh,
No,
uh, like
thank God.
aspirations, or you ever looked into all that stuff?
Never seriously.
Mm-hmm.
For me, joining the military, it was always kind of a just a question of when, not if.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd talk to the Marine recruiter when I was still in high school, but then I ended up doing some different stuff right after high school, and then ended
Mm-hmm.
up going Navy. But even during that time, I kind of went, I don't really have any interest in the FBI or
Yeah.
any of the other three-letter agencies. It just didn't appeal to me, and probably my libertarian nature would have immediately ruled out DEA and ATF.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
um,
mine was WWE. So that was my first one out of undergrad. Was
yeah, you should see the physical fitness assessment they have. Holy cow!
that's very true. No, yeah, I only wrote for the website, so that was
Oh, okay,
that's
awesome.
as far as I went. But oh yeah, the other thing, which was right at this time that I was doing the in-person interviews, um, a lot of the stuff now is coming out about how maybe they weren't necessarily the most pro right leaning people at the time.
Ah,
And
okay.
I didn't say anything super political. I'm not really super political, but I mentioned being on the Gutfeld show because
Oh, yeah.
it's a national credit.
It's
Made me seem
huge.
it made
Yeah.
me seem like a legitimate uh, career. Like that was my career as a
Right.
professional comedian.
Yeah, it's like
So I thought it would help just kind of seem like an interesting character,
well, not
But
only
there's
that,
a
but
chance that they heard Fox News and were like, we can't have
uh,
this guy.
that's possible,
So
but I also have to look from their perspective. I mean, obviously, they're doing background checks on you and everything
of
else, but that,
course.
you're appearing on national
Hmm.
media. National media has to do
Well,
some digging on you
that's
too. So,
also, and that came up in the first interviews because I remember being like the one guy that I was talking to he was like a Gutfeld fan, so
oh,
he was like
interesting.
loving it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I was asking people like, hey, so I was on this show a couple times. Like, is that a big deal? Like, do they? And they're like, no. I mean, if you're passing all the things, and it's I don't think so, unless you're like literally famous. But
Yeah, yeah.
so
That would
they didn't really think anything of it. But I just think maybe secretly
yeah.
there might have been a few things that have come out since
Yeah, yeah.
maybe show that wasn't the way they were leaning at the time with the
Maybe,
whole
or they're
Trump
just
stuff.
like, what if, we put him on some undercover operation and he gets recognized? Like, hey, weren't you on the
Yeah.
Greg Gutfeld show?
Well, see, my goal would have been to if I just became a public figure and secretly no one knew that I was working for the FBI,
That would be
and
incredible.
then they could just infiltrate me into whatever they need to for
Yeah.
like entertainment tax fraud or something. I don't
Entertainment tax
know.
fraud.
Get to know some Harvey Weinsteins or something, and
Oh yeah.
start finding people's children in their basements and stuff. I don't know,
Oh, that'd
but
be wild. Yeah. Wow. So
go to Epstein Island and secretly report some photos or something.
yeah, yeah. Although I don't know, it doesn't seem like they're too interested in finding out about that stuff.
No.
Although, and like you said, you didn't mention anything about your politics on the interviews, but I have to wonder if it's one of those things where the omission of any political leanings pretty much tells them that you are right leaning.
Yeah,
If you
and
were,
also you never know how I said it, because if I mentioned Gutfeld and I was being kind of, who knows? I don't.
yeah,
Yeah, you kind of space out once you're in that like nervous world.
yeah,
But
yeah. It's like I
but
open
yeah, I
my
mean,
mouth.
there's a chance I said I'm not actually political, but like I don't really,
Yeah, yeah.
who the hell knows what I
But
did?
I play one
So
on TV sometimes. Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. So, when you're going for all the FBI stuff, was there anything else that, I mean, of course, besides comedy, that you were pursuing at the time, or it was just, let's
Um,
try this and see if it pans out?
yeah, it's always just been the like applying for writing jobs and stuff
Yeah.
and like entertainment things. So then that little sidebar of FBI just became its own little thing. And
Yeah.
I just figured, if it takes off before I, you know, get cast in something super national
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever, then I have to go with that and sort of, and I've always planned to sort of, you know, I would have figured out a way
Right.
to have the actual career and make good money.
Sure.
And then I would try to figure out a way to slip myself back into, little stand-up things or,
Of
and then
course.
just break the rules if I have to.
Yeah.
I'll be moonlighting as a late night comic somewhere and then go, shoot people during the day. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we all have our day
yeah,
jobs.
I probably shouldn't have said that in the interview either.
Well.
I'd like to shoot people. That is why I'm here.
Yeah,
But no.
well, I see. To me, that seems like it would be a positive. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, that's exactly what we need. We have too many people who are hesitant to shoot when they need to.
That's true. That was a big portion of the initial things. Making sure everyone was comfortable with guns, and I told them about my dad. Just like we would go to gun ranges and stuff growing up, and I've shot everything. So I was very comfortable with all that. And they were also big on the like drug stuff. They couldn't believe that I was a comedian that like never smoked weed or like I never did. Like my whole college, I never was a weed person.
Same here. Yeah.
So that was big. They kept stressing like, if you pass this, you have to take a lie detector. Are you sure? I was like, I promise you. Why would I be here if I know I'm going to fail the thing?
Yeah.
But
well, and that's kind of how I know, like, the military was always at the back of my mind, because I seem to remember my dad telling me, like, if you smoke pot, like, you can't join. I was like, oh, man, I really want to join. So I just, and not that, like, my friend group was ever into that or ever would have pushed it, but if I wanted to, I certainly could have done it, and I just stayed away from it, like, my entire adult life. And then, there's a lot of people like, oh, I smoked pot, and they got to get a waiver and all this junk, or they're just not eligible for certain jobs. And the door was open for me, and then I got out, and I still didn't smoke pot. And then having worked and seeing people smoke pot on the job, I'm like, I don't think I want to do it after all.
Mine just became a thing. Like most funny attempting people think that is going to make you funny because you get high with friends and you're all giggling at everything. And and I saw that because my brother was older and he had some friends that, whatever. So I would be like, well, I don't want to be that kind of funny. They're kind of dull and like dumb.
Yeah.
And then like the whole like Seth Rogen crowd with those movies.
Yes.
I was like, I get it. Like it's funny, but it's not really, I don't know. So I sort of at a younger age wanted to be like I can be funny without doing that kind of stuff. And
that's smart.
So, but also I do think it came from my dad just because he was big on with drinking, especially like you just, as long as you don't get in any type of dumb trouble.
Yeah.
So I just tried to avoid, while having fun and doing a lot of dumb things, I tried to minimize the punishments that could come from that. So I think he instilled in me, like, just get through at least to 25 without a criminal record.
Yeah.
Like, just don't.
That's a very worthy goal.
Drive drunk. Don't, whatever.
Yeah.
And so, those kind of things, like we did the dumbest thing. We would go out and like film ourselves jumping in people's bushes, but we never, but I wouldn't do it drunk or high in case I got arrested or asked by a police officer, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And then now you're also drunk and, so,
right.
So there was that. It was just, don't be stupid until a certain age.
Yeah.
And then we'll be proud of you as long,
well, really,
as long as you're not in jail.
That certain age isn't all that arbitrary, because by the time you hit that age, you've had enough practice of keeping your nose clean. You're probably just going to do it the rest of your life anyway.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I did end up like, I didn't really drink till I was like 22,
Oh,
just
yeah?
out of spite, just out of like community spite. On my 21st birthday, I remember I was like, I don't care. I want to sit home.
Wow.
But then I ended up, later on, obviously, with more stand up. And
Oh, yeah.
so now I drink, for shows and stuff. But
Yeah.
it's,
That's no big deal, though. I mean,
but never arrested. Never arrested.
That's
so.
great. Bravo. Very, very important. Also, it would be kind of a problem too. Like, what if you got arrested by the FBI? Like,
yeah,
kind of like, hey guys, like,
yeah. Oh, remember me?
From the longest job interview in history, 2 years. Holy cow!
They're like, yep, told you so. I knew we were right about you.
So,
what's the closest you've come to being arrested, or have you been arrested? I don't know.
I have been arrested.
For what? Public urination?
No. This is so stupid. But right after I got off active duty, but right before I started going to college, I didn't as successfully avoid the whole drinking and driving thing as you did in your youth, and I rolled my car off of a freeway off ramp and got busted. There's no like.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, it was totally stupid. Like, thank God I was the only one in the car, only one involved. I didn't hurt anybody, and like I didn't end up in cuffs. There's no mug shot or anything, but like I did have to go to court, which is weird. It kind of makes me wonder about
lesson well learned.
Yeah,
you're a better person now.
Exactly. I had to pay a $192 fine. I'm like, what country am I in? But but yeah, I mean, I got probation and everything, and like obviously never should have happened in the first place, but definitely learned my lesson and kept my nose clean, and now I don't drink at all. So yeah, something to be said for that, maybe.
As much as Compound Media might try to get you to.
Oh, they did for a while there, and then I was like,
Sullivan's at the John Sullivan's bar.
Holy cow! I cannot believe how much these people drink. It's astonishing.
Oh yeah, it's all Gino's fault. I want to say he pushes it.
Oh, for sure. But I do remember a few years back, before I moved out here, I was drinking after morning with Bill Schultz, and he could put them away too. My God. Yeah. And I was like, I was in the Navy. I could probably keep up with him. And it's like, no, I can't. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. So yeah, few of those hard lessons. And it's like, you know what, drinking's not that much fun. It's expensive. It's painful. I want to just kind of have a nice equilibrium of not being drunk or hungover, and it's constant yo-yoing.
I was proud to find out that I don't know if I'm the only one, but Bill and Joanne were saying that. I guess maybe because I always push it and try to get, but apparently I'm the only one that gets Joanne to join Bill and I at the bar afterward.
Really?
And then she'll just do one and then go, be productive somewhere. But
but that's still impressive. Yeah.
I felt very proud about that.
She does not jaywalk over to that bar very frequently, so I'm impressed. Yeah. What a crew.
Jaywalking. Yeah, the entire operation there is everything's illegal. It's jaywalking, drunk on the job,
stoned on the job if you work in the booth. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
good people though. Good people.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a fun place. I love it over there. And again, like you were talking about, being in entertainment and getting to meet people. I got to meet the guy who shot Bin Laden, which like for me is a huge deal because being in the Navy, I remember being on post when it happened, and we're going like, oh man, we got Bin Laden. Oh my God, it was the Navy, it was SEAL Team 6. We're like, oh, SEAL Team 6. Yeah. We're never gonna know who those guys are.
Because I think he was on the what was that Tom Hanks movie too? Wasn't he in on that too? The Captain Phillips.
Oh yeah. He wasn't one of the snipers, but yeah, he was on that mission too.
He was in the SEAL Team 6 thing there too. But
yeah.
Rob O'Neill.
Yeah. But like we thought, oh, at the time, we're never going to know their names. We're never going to meet these
Hmm.
people. And like less than 10 years later, I'm standing there in Compound Media getting to
Yeah.
meet Rob O'Neill with Anthony photobombing us in the background. God, this is amazing. This is so cool.
Well, it's a good kind of a bomb that he's been around.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. That's.
he actually was nice enough to, for my dad's a year ago birthday, signed and sent his book to him.
Oh,
Because I
that's
said,
awesome.
I messaged him and said he's turning 83, or he was turning 83.
Wow.
He's 84 now.
Yeah.
And I said it's his birthday, and blah blah blah. So yeah, he sent the operator book. I
Oh,
think
that's so
that's what it's
cool.
called, the operator.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he wrote a little message, and
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
nice guy, good
Yeah.
guy.
And that is kind of the cool thing. I mean, he was on, I think he'd been on Red Eye a couple times and
Hmm.
was on Gutfeld and everything.
Yeah,
And that was kind of the cool thing, whether it was Red Eye or Gutfeld. Like if you're a guest on there, you were probably a pretty cool person in real
yeah.
life, you know?
There's just good sense of humor, and
Yeah. And it was like, it
cool to
ran,
hang out with.
yeah, it
Mhm.
ran like the whole spectrum. I mean, there's comics like you, but then there's, you know, whether it's Rob
Oh
O'Neill
yeah,
or whatever. And, um, Mike Baker, the CIA guy,
oh yeah, yeah.
I got him.
Mhm.
I sent him a book, just a random book for him to sign for
Mhm.
my mom for Christmas. It wasn't anything that he wrote or had anything to do with. And God bless him, like he wrote out like a whole
Yeah.
page, signed it, and sent it to her for Christmas. I was like, hell yeah.
Mm.
But
I told him a brief version of my FBI stories because,
yeah, oh yeah, because he's CIA guy.
well, he was CIA, so we were on. I think it was morning,
Yeah,
and we were talking afterward. And Joanne, I get because he was producing a couple film projects or TV things,
yeah,
and he was saying about Joanne like coming on as an actress or whatever for shows and stuff, and I was like, hey, if you ever need anyone in the CIA, I was almost in the FBI, and I went on this whole thing, and he was just like, okay, yeah, all right, yeah, you didn't make it, we get it, all right, not so
yeah,
much, but yeah, he was cool.
yeah, yeah. Seems like a cool guy. Um, well, yeah. Now, like looking back on all of your experience, like the stories that you heard from your dad during his service, and then you looking into getting into the FBI, which I mean, a 2-year interview process. I say you were in. Your delayed entry program.
Listen, if I was physically training, I considered myself, I was employed for a little bit.
Yeah, yeah,
I was
exactly.
an unpaid employee
Yeah,
that they decided to just
yeah. You're in
let go.
the
So,
FBI auxiliary. We'll put it that
mhm,
way.
yeah.
If you knew anyone who was looking to join military or FBI, I mean, what are your views on that? Would you encourage them, discourage them, have them go
Oh
one
yeah.
branch over
I
another?
mean, I'd wait a little bit to see what they're finding out about some of the higher ups at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, that'd
But
be smart.
but in general, rank and file, obviously it's a very respectable position to get to and everything. I always, like I get to hang out with some like either Gutfeld fans after shows that
Sure.
mention that, and they say they're military, and I think they just assume I probably know more than I do if
Yeah, yeah,
about like that whole side of things.
right.
But it's so fun to just hang out and drink, and then I always end up saying like, they'll tell a story and I'm like, I respect it so much. I know I'm up here telling jokes and bullshitting and this and that, but you guys, I can't even imagine what it's like to be doing. And then they always go, no, 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 we need this. We need your side of it. You're doing the tough stuff. And I'm like, geez, no, I'm not. That's a ridiculous thing to say. But yeah, it's always a very fun, like, I just respect it. I respect everything. I know that I could probably never do a lot of that stuff. I'm just, mentally not, I was equipped for other goofiness, but
True,
but
true.
I love it, but I know that I couldn't flourish fully in the military existence.
Well, that's true, but I'm wondering how much of that is like a function of age. Because, right,
That's
like I
possible.
just got out of the Navy last year, and I realized pretty quickly, like a couple years into that 6-year reserve enlistment, I'm like, oh fuck, I hope I don't deploy. I can't do this anymore. I'm, you
Yeah.
know, yeah, I could do it physically maybe, but it's like,
Hmm.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Okay.
It'd be one thing
Okay.
if I was, early 20s again, but mid to
Yeah.
late 30s, I'm done.
Mhm. But then also, it's like sometimes I think about like, friends that are military and they have families, and it's like
Yeah.
it's very cool because it's like, kind of a beautiful thing. You go off and do your thing, and then you come back, and it's like this, you know, nice life most of the time. And, but because I don't have kids or I don't even have a girlfriend at the moment. So
Oh,
it's
really?
like,
Yeah.
so what the hell have I been doing here? You guys are all fighting wars and somehow able to raise children and have all this love. And
That
I'm here bullshitting around and can't even do it. So
that always struck me as so odd
yeah,
where
maybe I should have been a little more disciplined, life seeking, but who knows?
maybe. Although there's also the stereotype with military marriages, like, I mean, they get
Oh, that's
married
true.
and so they can get housing allowance
Yeah,
and move right off base. So, a
that's
few
true.
things get rushed through.
Or
Maybe should have.
obviously the ones that don't work out if you're gone all the time. That's another thing.
Yeah.
But I guess my friends have been lucky. I suppose
Good for them.
they found some true love, or they're swingers and everybody's banging everybody, and who knows. But point is,
Yeah. Well, what you don't know
maybe
can't
they
hurt you,
maybe they struck some deals. I don't know, but good people for the most part.
I would think so. Yeah, that always blew me away. Well, I grew up in Northern California, and I I had what, like 400 kids in my graduating class, and I don't think I know a single one of the girls who were pregnant before graduation or a single one of the guys who got someone pregnant before graduation. Like, it was just
Mm,
unheard of. Everybody went to college
yeah.
afterwards, and delayed getting married, having kids, and then I moved to Idaho when I was like 21, and I met people my age married with 2 kids, and I was like, "Whoa, I didn't know you could do that." Like, that just.
Yeah.
And then, of course, in the military, you see it all the time.
Mhm. I know,
But
it's because I'm 38, and
mhm.
you would think that doesn't surprise me now. When like a friend said that like they're having another child, or they're, my wife's pregnant, I'm always like, oh shit, like,
Yeah.
and then I realize like they meant to do it, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, congrats.
Yeah.
Um, because
Yeah.
your initial instinct is like, oh, fuck, on purpose, like,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah. You're like, is everything
okay,
okay? Like,
yeah, are you keeping it?
yeah.
He's like, no, no, we had the baby last month. I'm like, oh yeah, but are you still keeping it? I don't know. I feel like
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
nowadays you could probably get rid of it still,
Is that
but
sonogram you're holding up a last known photograph, or how does that work?
yeah,
Yeah.
you're just it's in a an orphanage now or what?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
You know,
so yeah,
different
well,
different
that's the
perspectives.
goal, is to someday be confident to where I can, where you're in a relationship that you feel, oh my goodness, we should actually create a human together. That's crazy to me, but
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of, the commitment and responsibility
Mm,
required, I have a cat, and it's like, I'm not
yeah,
even giving her enough attention. And that's a cat. That is
yeah,
like reptile
yeah.
levels of need in
They're
a
just
mammal, and
the
I can't
dead
handle it.
souls. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're just deadless things walking around purring
Yeah.
with black eyes.
Yeah. I mean, she has a water fountain and an auto feeder. I literally have to do nothing. And I'm
Yeah.
still like, oh, God damn it. I got to play with
Mhm.
her. So, yeah. Uh, it's a lot of work, and I'm lazy. So that's a big, big
Yeah.
handicap. Um,
Yeah, you could get deployed again and just leave the cat right there, and come back a year later and it'll figure it out.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
It's, yeah. Like, if I'm going to only be gone for a couple of days, it's like, do I bother anyone to check in on her? She'd probably be
Mhm.
fine. She's got everything she needs. I'll be
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
See, they
Uh,
can have dogs in military and cop positions, but not cats. Cats can't do anything.
so just kind of why I
Actually, I don't know.
respect
That's maybe
cats.
not true. Are there ever cats in professional
The
like
only thing
job?
is like an older Navy and merchant ships, they'd have cats to catch the rats.
Okay. Hey, that
Yeah.
you need them, I guess.
Well, and my
Counts.
cat has killed 2 mice, and I'm very, very proud of her. She creates a fucking mess. It's a crime scene. But
Wow.
I was asleep one morning, and
She's an LAPD cat.
yeah, yeah, she beats them like they owe her money. But she just I was sleeping, and she put a mouse head on my chest, just like this severed mouse head.
She went full like Godfather on you
Yeah,
with
yeah, and she's like
wow.
presenting it like, "Look what I got ya," and
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm horrified, but I will, good. She caught a mouse. I want her to keep doing that, so I'm just like, Elsie, I love it. Oh, thank you. And, but
Yeah.
but that blew my mind. I'm like, how did she sever the head? Like, did she just eat it ass first, and that's what was left over, or did she bite the
Yeah.
head off? I
My guess
have no
is
idea.
my guess is probably like a nuzzling into the belly area and kind of just ripping it around. And
Yeah,
then probably the head ended up being the last thing that was hanging on. And then
yeah, just like by a thread. It's possible, yeah, because it was just there's like I had to take her to the sink and wash her up. Like she looked like
mm,
she'd been earning her Red
yeah.
Wings or something. It was pretty disgusting, but I was proud of her. Good cat.
Yeah. Nice. When's the third one? Is the third expected? Do you have a mice problem? Is it,
No, it's the second floor, and I think they're
uh,
gone now because the cat killed them all, or they're
nice.
taken to hiding. So
Yeah.
hasn't been a problem on the third floor. Knock on wood, but yeah, no, I'm very proud of her. She does
Good
good
for
work,
her.
but
It's
yeah,
like your own little that character dead with the tiger, except on a smaller level. Just
yeah,
you, it's your personal little killer
yeah,
to sick on things.
yeah.
Nice.
It's great. But yeah, as far as military working cats go, I can't imagine a less successful program,
Yeah.
and that's saying something. But that is kind of the cool thing about cats is they don't work for cops like dogs do. It's like,
Yeah.
good on you, cats. Little anarchist libertarians. I love it.
Yeah. You never know what we'll genetically come up with, though. I feel like cats might be more, not aggressive than a dog, but like sinister. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Oh,
they
yeah.
can creep
Sadistic.
up on someone and you think they'll be like, oh, and
Yeah.
then before you know it, fucking, and they got your drugs and your everything. And so I don't know, maybe look into it.
Yeah.
But
They'd be good at stalking and things. Yeah. Yeah.
because dogs, they come up on you and you know what they're doing, like you're scared right away.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe training cats with a little
Hmm.
gene splicing or something where we
Yeah.
can make them killers
Yeah.
could help.
All right. Well, I've got my work cut out for me. Some sort of cat genetic engineering program
Yeah.
for
Oh,
governmental
and
use.
military wise, you obviously they're way better for like the forest and stuff, or just you can send them into Vietnam. They can hang out in trees
Yeah.
and jump down on people. Dogs, I don't
Just
think
fuck them
can
up. Yeah.
climb trees and wait.
Yeah.
So
That,
not that we should still
impossible.
attack Vietnam. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
whatever other place that we may be going to.
Yeah. Go back and fight a 50-year-old war. Yeah.
Yeah, we would. We never lost.
Yeah.
We need to come back, I think, and take that victory. My dad will still go. He'll sign up. He'll be like, I need to get this W
that,
over here.
that would be something. And you said your dad's 83 now?
84.
84.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's still got guns and ready to go. So
Yeah, that's what it's all about, That's because he's basically auxiliary air force at this point. If
yeah.
it really hits the fan, he's ready.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to go down swinging.
He had two back surgeries and a quintuple bypass a couple years ago.
Whoa.
And he's finally full recovered and all walking around and everything good again. So
Wow.
so
good
he's
for
ready
him.
to hop back in the cockpit and go.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Be flying with Maverick in no time.
Yeah. Great movie, by the way. That was probably my favorite last year.
Yeah, that I got a military discount for showing my ID. That's the last movie I got to see while in the
Oh,
military.
wow.
Now I got to pay full price. It's bullshit.
I had a SAG card that I thought I thought you get discounts for, and I like went to an AMC and I was like, I heard you might get a thing, and they were like, no, like, you don't give a shit.
Yeah, they
But
don't. Yeah, they don't care about anything. It's bullshit.
yeah, that is, I will say, a great benefit to the military.
Yes, yes.
Seeing movies. I would join the military just to see discounted movies.
Yeah, I'm at the point now that like I'm out. I'm gonna fish for every discount possible, and I
Mm.
just found out that as a veteran, I get to go to all the national parks for free.
Oh, nice.
And so that's if I lived anywhere near a national park, that would mean more. But that's gonna be
Hmm.
my thing now. Just
And I would also fly more and I would wear my full anything possible I could to make someone give me their first class seat maybe someday,
oh,
or
for sure.
just any better seat, I guess. But
Yeah, yeah,
uh, that'd be cool.
yeah.
I'm
I
always pretty jealous of them in that.
Yeah, that's another thing. Besides genetically engineering cats for military service, I'm gonna need to work on my scheme to
Mhm.
get bumped up to first class. You know.
I mean, I guess I really could just invest in a fake looking outfit of some kind that would make people think I'm in the military. But
Yeah, like
you know,
something like Eddie Murphy had in Trading Places, the beginning of
yes,
that
yes,
movie. Perfect. Yeah,
yes, but
just
not, but with legs. I don't think I
oh,
want to wheel through the
all right,
airplane thing
fine. Don't
aisle.
commit to the bit then.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, Kris, I really appreciate you coming on, sharing the background with about your dad and your own experience trying to get into a three-letter agency. Um,
Well, thank you for having me, and good talking again. It's been a while since I've seen you in
I know.
various bars, and so.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun, and in my case, even when you're not. But do you have
Ah.
anything to plug? Any upcoming gigs or albums?
Um, well, I just got done with a good pluggable gig. I did a Wisecrackers weekend, and we did a trip to the Carolinas. That was pretty cool. But I will say, more importantly, check out. Well, yeah, I got 2 albums on Spotify, but also and iTunes and all that other and Amazon stuff. Also, I have a pilot that we filmed
Ooh,
that now I put on a Patreon. So we're trying to get that going and shared around and stuff. It's called Collecting, and it's about a dude who's milking the unemployment system. So
nice.
it's like a Curb Your Enthusiasm situation, but with a very unsuccessful kind of moocher character instead of a rich successful person. But similar humor and whatever.
Yeah.
So it's called Collecting. It's at patreon.com/Kris Fried. So Kris with a K, Fried spelled like fried. And the lowest tier on there is $1.50. So there'll be 3 full episodes by next month, and there's 2 up right now.
Awesome.
So $1.50, and I have a bunch of little podcast things there and some other sketches and stuff. So it's an ongoing Patreon kind of thing, but you can cancel after you watch the thing if you really want to. But
Well, yeah. Hey,
but yeah,
that's
we're just trying to get
awesome.
a little thing going so that it's a few bucks every month that we can keep trying to film new episodes. It's like 25 minutes each episode, so
Oh, okay.
trying to go for like a real, actual, sitcom show. So check that out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll put all your links in the YouTube description and everything else
Cool.
with the podcast. So definitely check that out. I saw the latest episode of Collecting. You had it on Lemaire Lee.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
he's great.
yeah,
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 Lemaire and Nate Marshall
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Nate
play
was on there too.
cops, and they're
Yeah.
very kind of uh, they go really well together. They're both sort
Oh
of
yeah.
shorter and just sort of not super intimidating as cops, and
Right. Right.
and the banter is goofy. And for people that don't know, they're Shane Gillis's openers now a lot of
Yeah.
times, so they're at the stand a bunch. Good
Yeah.
good guys.
Yeah.
But
Those.
yeah, I know them from my Pennsylvania stuff,
Of
so
course. Yeah.
we all
You.
came from there.
You PA guys. Yeah. You guys are on another level.
It's another level. I'm not sure if it's higher or lower, but it's weird.
Yeah. No, but that's great. And again, thank you so much. And I'll put your links in the description. But yeah, I appreciate you
Thank
so much
you.
coming on. And we'll have to catch up again real soon in a bar near one of us.